Well, I had no business experience. I had just a horrendous work record. I got out of school, I worked in factories, I went into the Navy, I went in an ordinary seaman, I come out a naval seaman because they have to make you a naval seaman after, I think, 18 months, something like that. I had nothing going to my credit. I got out, I was working in bars and in factories, and I was sitting in a fire hall when I met this man. But there was something about the way he approached me, the way he hit my mind, that although I didn't believe in me, I believed in his belief in me. This guy was so adamant that I could change. He said, do you know that there's absolute laws governing happiness? He said, the earning of money is an exact science. And he said, you've got an ingenious system built within you to keep your body in excellent working order. He said, you can have anything you want. The most erudite scientist alive can't even guess at what you and I are capable of. He said something that stuck. He says, success is about goals. Now, I didn't have any goals. The only way I think of goals of soccer or hockey or something, I never really thought of goals as something you work toward. But he asked me what my goal was. Well, of course, I didn't have one. Then he gave me this book to read. And the author says this is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Yet in this book, the author says there's a secret in this book. Yet he said if you can find the secret in the book, you can have anything you seriously want. Well, of course, I didn't believe that. But you know what I have found? You don't have to believe it. If you write a lie on a card and you read it often enough, you're going to start to believe it. Yet you see, he tells you in this book to decide what you want, write it on a card, and then read that card as often as possible every day. Now, I started to read that book, Think and Grow Rich. And I started to earn a lot of money. Yet it was a strange thing. I just got hooked on the book and I couldn't stop reading it. Now, that was the first book I'd ever read. I was 26 years old and I'd never read another book. I didn't even read comic books. Yet, you know, I don't think, again, I was an exception to the rule. I really don't. But my life changed so dramatically that I wasn't satisfied just with the win. I had to know why. Why was I winning? Yet didn't make sense. Everything I had been taught was proving to be false. I was taught you had to be really smart if you're going to earn a lot of money. I was earning a lot of money and I knew I wasn't that smart. But you know, in that book, Andrew Carnegie told Napoleon Hill, he said the accumulation of great wealth calls for power. Yet power is acquired through highly organized, yet intelligently directed specialized knowledge. I remember when Earl Nightingale, he said if most people said what they were thinking, they would be speechless. Dr. Ken McFarland said 2% of people think, 3% think they think, yet he said 95% would actually rather die than think. Now you'd be saying, well, everybody thinks. Hardly anybody thinks. Mental activity does not constitute thinking. Do you know just the things that are going on around you cause mental activity because these things come in through your senses into your consciousness? I'm going to suggest you start to listen to the conversations that are going on around you. The people never say what they were saying if they were thinking. Stand back objectively and watch what some people are doing. They would never do what they're doing if they were thinking. Most people don't think. And we're going around, what do you think I should do? I want to give you a suggestion. And you can do what you want with it. Next time you have a feeling to do something, don't even look sideways. Ask no one what they think you should do. Now, I'm going to tell you that's going to be a hard directive to follow. Because we're running around, well, I have so many people tell me, you know, they want to go into business, but my wife would be upset. Oh, really? So she's living her life through you then? Well, no, but I mean, you've got to respect her. Well, of course you should respect your wife. And she should respect her husband. But we shouldn't be letting the person we're married to direct where we're going. Why do we do that? Well, probably because our parents did. Why do they do it? Probably because their parents did. We're programmed. I remember when my wife and I first got together about 30 years ago, we were shopping, and I said, you know what I'd like is some turnip. So I picked up a turnip. She said, what are you going to do with that? Well, I said I was going to eat it. Well, she said, I'm not eating that. That's the root of the turnip. We give that to the pigs. What? I said, well, what do you eat? Well, she says, we eat the green. Well, I says, isn't that the damnedest thing? We give the green to the pigs. Now, you see, I was born and raised in northern Ontario in Canada. She was born and raised in the southern United States, in Alabama and in Pensacola, Florida. Two totally different cultures. Do you know what culture is? Group habit. And that was a habit. Neither one of us. And I thought, well, hell, I'm not going to fight over a turnip. So I put the turnip back, and I'm walking through the store, and then the root of I never thought of it as a root. But I thought, I guess it grows in the ground, so yeah, it would be a root probably. And I started to think, I wonder who decided we'd eat the root. Would it have been Mom? Well, no, because Grandma cooked it. I wonder if it was Grandma. And I thought, God, I may have to go back for generations to find out who made that decision. Then I started to wonder who in her family decided they'd eat the green. And finally, I got so confused, I just quit thinking about it. And you know, I thought it really doesn't matter. We just don't eat turnip. You know. But then I started to think about it. It's the principle of the thing. I wonder how many other things we do that we just sort of inherited. Well, that's what I want to talk to you about. Because I don't believe that any of us decided to do most of the things we're doing. I think we inherited it. Do you know what culture is? It's group habit. It's really what it is. Now, here's a good question for you. Wealthy people have always had, what do you think they've always had? Wealthy people have always